Dining room's been empty now for a year. Normally a place to swap stories, catch up on the gossip, meet new friends, and generally interact with each other. As you can see, wonderful facilities been put on hold. These are really difficult times, obviously, for our veterans. I'm 50 years old and I don't think I've ever experienced a year like it in my lifetime. And speaking to some of the residents here who have been through conflicts in their life, serving with the military services, I don't think they've experienced anything as unusual either, being restricted and restrained due to the pandemic of COVID.
We're facing quite a few challenges with the coronavirus. It's quite a tough situation for our residents and also their relatives.
There are so many changes we've had to make during this pandemic, and we are doing absolutely everything we can to make sure that residents are safe, staff are safe.
And I think everyone's been affected by this, some obviously more than others. We've lost some people, but by and large the people we work with have stayed pretty healthy. And we've worked really hard to, achieve that. And one of the difficulties we had was when this happened in the beginning, we were in new territory. We were used to working away at weekends and Christmas time and holidays, so we had to kind of like the bare bones. But I don't think anyone could have foresawn this would have gone on this long in the very beginning. And in the beginning it was difficult. I can't pretend that it wasn't. We were dealing with people who were in crisis, but all the support services had disappeared. That you couldn't, really difficult. It's really hard to find, temporary accommodation and dealing with people who were being turned away.
Our corridors are normally a hive of activity, but with obviously retaining social distancing and infection control, everyone is confined to their own wards.
I feel isolated because before that I was able to get out in the wheelchair and go around the block, around the other rooms, and I'd meet people and come back to the room, and that would be all right. But during the lockdown, of course, I couldn't come out of the room.
Everyone's been working really hard for the last year, and I think physically it's probably been a very tough year, but emotionally I think it's probably been harder. People being restricted and staying on a ward, staying in their rooms, minimal contact with their loved ones, which is very, very difficult, and something I've seen very closely and first hand emotionally with some of our residents. Not being able to have that physical contact has been pretty tough.
From my point of view, what we're probably going to do is put
clears the door.
I would say the way we care for our residents hasn't changed. We obviously have had to put in extra measures to ensure their safety, but these are all things that care staff do on a daily basis anyway.
We've organised FaceTime technology virtual visits, which has been great, and especially teaching some of our older generation about the new modern technology. It's been fascinating watching them use iPads, have Zoom calls, Skype calls. It really has been a real pleasure to show them that. Even I've learned a few new techniques, being the age I am and working with some youngsters.
This year in particular, with the pandemic, was extremely challenging. Erskine pulled out the stops and went to huge lengths to maintain high quality care in safe circumstances for our residents, despite the challenges of the pandemic. But there were additional costs, and your support was absolutely critical in helping us install thermal imaging cameras to detect early signs of COVID in staff and visitors who came here. Thus, the Royal Navy, Royal Marines and spouses who live with us were kept that little bit extra safe.
Very well supported by the staff, marvellous staff, absolutely marvellous.
So do you feel that helped you cope with having to be in lockdown and having to be isolated?
Yes, I think so. If they'd left me alone, without any staff at all, I would have been in a very bad way, yes.
Just wanted to say on behalf of the Veterans Hospital, thanks ever so much for your kind support last year and your donations and continued support are very much appreciated. Hopefully now we're coming into better times and we look forward to having some more social interaction and back to a little bit of normality. Thank you once again.
Thank you again for your support. It's been a wonderful time to have you with us. In challenging circumstances, it's always good to have a strong ally at your shoulder, and we're grateful to have had the Royal Navy and Royal Marines Charity there with us throughout this and since 2011. Thank you.